Okay, today I have a card show recap. I know Chris Cards would have been very disappointed if I didn't put this video up, so I'm making this for him and for everybody else who happens to watch us, the 15, 16, 25 people that ever get to view this here. Just hasn't been a lot of stuff coming in the mail that I really wanted to deal with. I had a couple return to senders, and that's always really fun, you know, to get those and come back. And one of them was my fault. I'm not sure if I got that one out. And it just, a lot of stuff piling up here paper-wise and autographs and things not getting into binders. You know how that is. But the card show was kind of an afterthought. I wanted to go early, but I didn't go early. Because, you know, one thing happens to another. Card show happens at 8 something or whatever, and then I can't get there till maybe 9, and then I have to be somewhere at 11, so that's only an hour or 2 hours. And you know, by the time you get there and things happen, it's like, oh shoot, I need to go. You know, so I said, well, you know what, the best thing I can do is after an event I had to be at, I left the event a little bit earlier than I wanted to, but I wanted to get to the card show in time because friends were there, and essentially I had to, actually Chris Cards was there too. But you know, we're looking at this 10-cent dime box that my friends brought, and it was all kinds of fun stuff in there, TTM fuel and whatever, but the thing was is that we weren't getting anything done at the show. I think we only looked at like, I don't know, we didn't get, I think there was a spot where I didn't get to the last few tables. We didn't get to the last few tables because I found a really cool box and I wished I had been there earlier. I might have bought some more stuff. I mean, I want to say earlier, but I really would have liked to have stayed a little bit longer, but the show was ending at 4 o'clock. And I wanted to be somewhere else, kind of, and so I got that done as well, too. So it was a long day for me, very long day. But I'll show you what I picked up at the Goodwill bins. That was at the end. Kind of an interesting, kind of a mess of stuff here. This needs a hat band, and it's severely moth damaged. But this is an old campaign Boy Scout hat, probably from the 60s. I'm guessing, I don't really know, but what I'm going to do probably is get a new hat band for it of some kind. That'll cover up some of the moth damage there. I will just clean it a little bit here, and I'll just use it for outdoor stuff. So I don't know what I'm going to do with the edging here that's all damaged, but we'll figure something out. I saved it for a minute or two, but you know, it's got some daylight. There's a daylight hole there. So I might throw a pin there of some kind. I don't know what I'm going to do yet there, and I think it'll fit me well enough. So we want to just clean that so I don't have any questions about wearing that, but I think it'd be kind of fun to wear once or twice. So there was that one there, and the Goodwill bin store was really hectic and crazy as usual, and not very much there. I don't know what this is, but it actually looks like a wallet. But it came from Wendy's Kids Meal, things that I don't need to pick up, but and it was probably only 10 cents. It was $1.29 or something for my total bill, and they rounded, you know, whatever. Wendy's Kids Meal, collect all 5, NHL Kids. Recommended for children over 3 years. Ask about special toys for children under 3. And it's like a folded over piece of plastic, whatever this is, and I think it's a wallet of some kind. But if it's a wallet, it's a very, very, very cheap, I don't know what it is, but that's what it looks like to me. It's still in the original package, but it's some sort of NHL Kids thing, probably from the 90s. That would be my guess there. And then I got the ever-popular postcards, which I've not been able to do anything with recently. So my postcards essentially have been stacking up on me, very unfortunately, because I would give those out when I did, you know, certain things, and then now I can't do that anymore, seemingly. Everything is just kind of settled down for a moment here, so a lot of kind of, yeah, it's not great, but essentially they were bonus items with things that I would sell, essentially, and those things haven't been selling, so I won't get into that one. And then there's a nice Oregon Lincoln City postcard there. So, you know, these only cost me a penny or two, and, you know, if I went to the coast, that would cost me probably $1, so maybe even more than $1. Then I've got the last couple of things there. There was a bunch of football cards that came out of all things. So I got a Harry Carson NFC Pro Bowl card there, not really mint or valuable there. I'm sure I already have that. I don't know if he would sign autographs if he's still alive. I don't really know. And then I found this in a top loader, but I threw away the top loader. I didn't want it. That top loader was going to cost me almost as much as one at the card show. So I got this really cool big numbers It's a 17 Philip Rivers card there. Philip Rivers, if you didn't know, I think this is actually a press pass from like 2000 or 2004, and this is not a valuable card from what I understand. I think it's his rookie card. I mean, it's a rookie card, but it's college card. I don't remember which college that is because I can't really say. Looks like maybe it's Rutgers or something because he's got a big old R on his helmet there. Very unusual card I've never seen before, but I kept it in the penny sleeve there. So those are things that filtered out, and what also filtered out, somebody accidentally donated some money, and there was some Mexican money that got donated, and there was some U.S. money, and the clerks spotted that right away. Oops, that shouldn't be there, so they took that away. I don't know, but somebody said there might have been $140. And I don't know what the Mexican money was worth, but probably just like $1 or $2. Now I got some other cards here which are interesting here, and I don't know if this is for the National Geographic magazine or the National Geographic World magazine, but I grabbed everyone, even the damaged ones, because the damaged ones, you're like, why would you grab that? That's just torn up to shreds. Really wild animals. There are no copyright dates on these, so I don't know what they came from. But it just says National Geographic photograph, and then by who it is, and the copyright NGT, or National Geographic T, or whatever that means. And they're perforated, so more than likely these came out of the sheets of the magazines, but what year these came out of, I don't know. And then here's another one with a dinosaur on it, but I think these are beyond my time, so I may not keep these. This one doesn't seem to have perforations on it, so I don't know if that came off of a... But that's another National Geographic card, so maybe somebody trimmed off the perforations. Again, I just don't know. There's another one there, and we'll finish up. I want to maybe show you all of these, but really wild animals. Sorry. There's an elephant. And again, some of these are just really, really beat up and ripped. But the prices people are charging for these types of like kids cards on eBay is just stupid. They want anywhere between $5 and $10 per card in some cases. I get it, but I also don't get it. So that's why I grabbed those for virtually nothing. Now we'll get into the card show stuff here. We started looking at my friend's 10-cent box here, and I got a few cards here out of that. We got a Roy Thomas 79. I'll have to double check and see if I need that for my set. It looks like Bob Ojeda. It's not in very good condition, but it looks like he's in a snowstorm. You won't be able to see that, but the snowing on there is pretty bad. We just didn't have time to really look at every single card, even though we kind of did. It was just a lot to look at. Steve Cook there, I don't know why I bought that, but also it's got a bunch of snowing on it too. Maybe if I rub this down a little bit, it might come off there. And then I got a Dennis Boyd and a Dick Davis there, 79. So really barely even worth the 10 cents a piece. I know Chris found some good stuff in the box, and that was stuff I gave my friend before. So some of that was from me. I don't remember exactly what all he got, but I think he got a couple bucks worth of cards. I just didn't want to mess with this stuff because mostly it was Flair 90 Donruss and that score stuff that was just all stuck and snowed. I didn't want any of that. So then I went and looked around the show and didn't find much to buy, but I did find a Caitlin Clark. I took it out of the top loader here because I didn't care for the top loader. I mean, it was okay enough, but yeah, I just took it out of top loader just to show you the card there. I know it's a real common one, and it's probably not even barely worth $1, but there was a bin of Caitlin Clark's, about 5 or 6 cards there, and there was some other WNBA stuff, and I said, I better hold off. I don't know what any of this stuff is. And then to make Ed Whiskergriff a little on the jealous side here, I found some mostly women's basketball players here. And they're all top-loaded, all nicely top-loaded. I'll probably take those out, put them in a binder. But these were 5 cents each with the top-loaders, 5 cents each, and I grabbed every one I could. And there was a bunch of other, well, I think I probably missed a few things, and one of them actually didn't make it into a top-loader. But this is some sort of, I can't remember what if it was. It was some sort of like fractal wave or something like that. I don't really remember. That's Xenia Zaka. Speaking of soccer there, or football, Naguman, don't know that particular player, but these are the McDonald's All-American or something like that. So that's what that one is there. And that was 5 cents. That one didn't have a top loader. I'll get to this picture in a minute here. And then we have, again, these names are not going to be, we got Bowman U, Jeloni, Cambridge, for Ohio State. You would have to have some issues with the camera here with the glare on the top loaders. We have Geloni, Cambridge again for the All-America, McDonald's All-American. They just overbought and things just didn't sell, and these are duplicates, but and they had marked them to down to 25 cents, and they were just blowing out cards for 5 cents, and nobody was buying them. That's the crazy part of this card show. Cards and top loaders, many of them weren't in top loaders, but 5 cents a card. That is absolutely just unheard of. So I looked up a couple of these things, and they were at least $1 or $2. On COMC, there's Ali Zebel. We have Olivia Olson. If Ed knows who any of these people are. I was going to say Wesker Griff, but if Ed knows who these are. Zam Jones. I just grabbed every one of these, regardless of who the player was. And Mari Berry, in case I ever build a set here. I'm not sure if I have any from this set. Joyce Edwards. I don't think I do. There's Joyce Edwards. Hopefully you can see that. Avery Howell. So there's Avery Howell. Whether they go on to the WNBA, I'm not sure. There's another Joyce Edwards. So I don't know if that's duplicate or not. But you see, we've got different photo variations and different waves and stuff like that. So I think that's neat. I gave him $1. If I had more time, Liv McGill. This was at the very end of the card show. And again, we didn't get to all the tables. It was 90 to 95% Pokemon. It was bad. There were only, I take that back. There were actually 3 or 4 tables that were all inclusive of sports out of I don't know how many tables in there. So yeah, it was probably 90 to 95% Pokemon. Amari Berry, McKinley Randolph. We have Ali Zebel, Bowman U First Chrome or something like that. Ali Zebel, Maddie McDaniel, Joyce Edwards, 2 of those. I think one of them might be a refractor, so I didn't even think about the refractors there. So I got 2 Joyce Edwards there. And then we have Avery Howell, and we have College Rule Playbook of Joyce Edwards again. So how fun was that one there? That was kind of neat to get all those. And I got really mint top loaders here. So, I mean, I didn't plan on doing all this, women's basketball stuff there, but it was dirt cheap. And, I like to collect Caitlin Clark if I can, because, again, it's just not easy to get stuff for $1. I don't know what year this is or when this is, but and they had 3 copies of this for $1 and some other ones that look like, kind of, I won't say leaders cards, but nothing to write home about. Did I show this one here? Did I show Isaiah Damonte Evans? I did not. So that's another one there. So that's one of the few that isn't a women's basketball player. I was going to say soccer, but I've got soccer on the brain right now because several things here. Autograph Den should be shipping my cards in the next week or 2. Should. They're somewhere in Indiana the last I checked. They've been gone for 2+ months or something, 8 weeks or whatever. And I'm putting another dinky little order through because I won a few cards via auction between 1 and 12 cents or 15 cents. And actually there was one for 22 odd cents. And I've been working on looking for a few more of the 94 Upper Deck World Cup cards, but I got outbid on those. Obviously, it's World Cup time. And what was interesting about World Cup very quickly here is because I've been watching the chat. Now, today I think has actually been better. Actually, not today, but the last one has been better. But we had so many young kids probably watching, and it's like, where's the game? And if you didn't know, the game is usually on Fox or Fox Sports 1, usually. Some kind of streaming service if you don't have it. And we've got people all over the globe that probably don't have Fox. But the only way to watch it is about 5 minutes of game, and they switch to the coach's cam. This is Tunisia versus Japan. And we know Japan crushed Tunisia, which I think just recently got a new coach. I forget this guy's name. I think he's a Frenchman. Oh, not Renard. I don't remember. He's got a couple of Panini stickers, and he's always wearing white shirts. Probably Armani or something like that. Giorgio Armani shirt or something like that, or some sort of Oh, I would say Brooks Brothers. That's dumb. Oh yeah, he goes to Joseph A. Bank to get his white shirts. But it's just kind of a funny thing there, because then I go to this coach cam, and people's like, why no, go back to cam number 3 and go to do this and do this and do this, and demanding Fox to put the game back on. And then everybody else is like, go to Telemundo. Then they try to find Telemundo, and I think I had it on my TV at one point and it's disappeared now, and then said Telemundo service is bad or the game disappeared or something. I have no idea. But it doesn't matter how many people educated the chat. It's like, give back the game. What are you doing? This coach cam is stupid. And then there's a few people, it's like, no, I prefer the coach cam. And I would say things like, come on, people, do you think this is really free and stuff like that? And so it got nobody anywhere. But my favorite one is that because you can hear the crowd and everything in the background, you don't hear the announcers. And I said, wow, this ASMR video is really awesome. So I said that, and I thought that was pretty good. So it's been a fun time, messing with the chat and using crazy emojis and finding, weird fonts on YouTube to throw in the chat, to throw people off, and the upside down font, and just, it's fun. Nobody's really necessarily paid attention to that. I'm the only one that's been doing the weird outside of YouTube, like upside down font type things. And the funny fonts there, but everybody's been just emoji city and whining about, how come this is not on for free, and when I don't want to pay $20, and it was just, yeah, there was a lot of that, and it was just kind of funny and ridiculous at the same time. So my friends gave me $3 for a whole pile of Freddie Freemans, which I gave away. I didn't need all those, and I think I gave them like 8 Freddie Freemans for like $3 or something. And so that was great for them and great for me, and that paid for my card, so I was like up 50 cents. But getting to that Goodwill store is all the way across town, so I'm pretty good today. It was just, wow, long day with a lot of things going on. Like I said, I had an event this morning that went from 11 to 12, kind of I want to say a lunch or a brunch. I wished I'd eaten more there, but I was kind of full at the time, so I was like, oh man. And then they were putting the food away by the time I went to go get some seconds, which is kind of frustrating because I would have loved to have another piece of fried chicken, but if I had eaten some more chicken, then I would have been delayed, and Chris Cards got there just shortly after I did, and parking was, at this show, you could not find a parking spot to save your life. I just was lucky because some guy was pulling out, and the person in front of me got that one, but by the time that one moved and pulled out, there's other people were pulling out, and I was first in line to take that spot, and then everybody had to circle around and get hosed. And host they did. And again, it was just insane amounts of Pokemon. People were asking us if we buy stuff and trade, and what a mess, and then people were giving stuff away, towards the end of the day, and if you bought a couple things and threw in a couple of cards. So it was a fun event, and all the Pokemon people were super happy. I did have some people looking at some soccer cards I had, or one of us had, but we didn't have the right soccer cards. We didn't have enough soccer cards, and I brought some women's soccer, and that just fell on deaf ears, lead balloon sort of thing. But people only want like World Cup stuff and FIFA things and certain soccer cards. It was like, oh, you brought soccer or football? I was like, nah, all I brought was this. The people didn't understand Topps Now only does stuff for a short minute of time, and I said, to get these cards off of eBay or ComC would probably cost me $5 per card, so how about $1 each? And that fell on deaf ears. But again, I always like to, present these things because it's somebody's future education. I'm already at 20 minutes, and I barely even, oh my gosh, I barely did anything, but I guess that's today's video. In the last video, I showed some pictures of groves of trees, and the reason why I did that is because I drove out to the country and it was just hazelnut trees or something like that, rows and rows, orchards of all kinds. I just thought that was really awesome to see that. Maybe I'll take videos of me going out to the country and just going around some of these roads were just farms, oh, and more farms. So it's kind of fun out in the sticks there. So that's what I have for this video, and thank you for watching.